welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I hope you're doing well. I'm curious to hear about how your budgeting is going and your weekly check-ins, because if you're here about the weekly check-in, and I love that you come back for that. My weekly check-in seems to be going really good right now. And I'm excited to kind of dive into it. But before I get started, I need to do my faith. That's part of my budget planning. And I know I don't talk about this very, very often, but I want to flip to where I actually write scripture, prayer, and praise in my planner. I do this every month. We're already in the 4th day of May right now. May the 4th be with you if you're a Star Wars fan. And yeah, I just kind of want to put that in here because my faith is the reason why I do the budgeting channels. I started out with a Financial Peace University class, and it put me on fire for budgeting and then I got into the budgeting community online with the videos, and then started doing my own channel. So let's kind of do that real quick. I will pick a scripture. I will go fast forward through writing it and my prayer and praise, just to show you what I do and how I bring God into my budgeting, and how much I love that. So I'll be right back.
I never thought in the wildest dream I'd see you again. Never dreamed about nothing.
Okay, I am back. So I've written everything down. I feel better. My month is prepared. Bringing the Lord in with my finances through the month is very important, and I thank Him for what He's opened my eyes and my heart to, especially helping others and kind of meeting you where you're at. If you're curious, I did Psalms 37:4. It just happened to be the verse of the day in YouVersion on May 4th, and I'll just show my iPad here. And this is where I got it. It says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires and petitions of your heart." And I thought that was just perfect. I was just looking for inspiration when I looked at the verse of the day. And that was the Amplified version. You can use the ESV, NIV, NLT. You know, there's so many versions of the Bible in YouVersion that you can use, and whatever one speaks to you the most is great. But I love the Amplified. Usually it has definitions and extra words and stuff to amplify verses, and I need that with my reading comprehension issues. So there's that. And that's it. I praise the Lord, and I decided to, praise Him for guiding me through the process of budgeting and sharing it with others, whether it's you or people at my church or anything like that. And I pray that those who are watching, you guys that are watching, that on my YouTube channel, that you are blessed beyond measure, and I probably spelled that wrong, but He knows what I mean, in your financial journey. I really do pray that's true. And so there we go. Usually it's about what's going on in my life, but today I really want to focus on you guys, and so I do pray that this is important for you guys to have your journey, and that you discover how God wants to guide you in that. So moving on from there, back to the weekly check-in, which is what you really came for. I'm going to move my stuff out of the way here. I'm going to come back here, and here's the weekly check-in. I gave myself $215 this week for grocery household, $90 for restaurants. Miscellaneous got $110, and gasoline got $125. I do not budget for unbudgeted, and I did not total it yet. So, let's see, I have a calculator somewhere. And I need to total these up. And before I do that, I'm going to pop these pages out. I'm going to zoom in, and then we're going to go right after to the calendar. So I did say, well, it's better this way. I did say today was May 4th. I am claiming Thursday as a no spend day, which is when I normally do my weekly check-ins, but I'll be babysitting tomorrow. And if I'm babysitting, I have no time to go to the store. She takes a lot out of me. So I did everything today. These are all the spendings since the 29th. So that was last Friday. The 29th through the 5th is what we are budgeting, or what the spending we're looking at. And I just put anything that was before the 1st, like the Papa John's pizza, which was the only thing before the 1st, on the 29th here on the 1st. Doesn't matter to me, and I still got to highlight this stuff. So I'm going to take care of all that. We're going to zoom in on the calendar, and we are going to total these up and see what I spent this week. And I can tell you this, I am not over budget. So I'm very happy that we have money from the 6th to the 12th to work with, and things are looking good. So there we go. So let me zoom in. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So let's total what I had for the week when my categories are combined together, so I can have that beginning number, because I didn't write that number down and I need to do that. So like I said before, $215 for the week. We're a grocery household. We are a family of 4 adults, but one of us is missing, so only 3 of us are at home. The other one is traveling on business or deployed, whatever you want to call it. He's a civilian. My husband's a civilian contractor, and he is currently out to sea. So they feed him out there. I don't have to worry about that. So I can get away with $215. But we're all 4 adults. So I do have 2 sons, and you know how boys eat. So, you know, I do have to have enough to cover everybody. The $90 for restaurants. I have $110 for miscellaneous. And that goes to anything that is random that we purchase that doesn't fall under grocery household or restaurants or gasoline. So I have been budgeting for a couple years now, or 3 years now, since 2019, intensely. And then I started my channel. So I am super in tune with how my spending goes. So I can break up my spending into 4 categories. And one of them is just miscellaneous. I know how much randomly stuff we spend that doesn't really fall in specific categories. I find more categories overwhelms me. So I just have one big lump sum and a miscellaneous amount, and it could be for anything that we need. Shoes, clothes, Etsy, stickers, Erin Condren if I want to. I usually go unbudgeted on that one though. I don't usually take out miscellaneous because I spend way too much on that. So anyways, that's miscellaneous. And then gasoline was $125. So that $125 was to cover for 2 weeks. I have a reminder here not to add more money in this column because I didn't want to go negative up here. When my husband got paid on the 29th, it covered week 1 and week 2 of the groceries or of the weekly check-ins. So that cash, all that cash is already sitting in the checking account. I'm just spending it and dividing it in half between the 2 weeks so that I don't spend it all at once. And that's the whole point for the weekly check-in, is I don't want to spend it all at once. And when I purchased gas for my Nissan Armada at $4.09 a gallon and get 22 gallons, you are going to see how much that really cost, and that was a lot. So if I divided 125 in half, it wouldn't be enough and it'd be negative, even though the money's sitting in the checking account. So I decided, you know what? It's already there. I'm just going to give myself all of it at the beginning of the first week and not worry about it. All right. So nothing for unbudgeted equals gave us 500. Oops, I didn't mean to put a decimal point there. And $40, which was enough for us. And that's fine. Let's see here. I'm going to clear that out. Now I'm going to flip this over. The calendar's on the other side, and we're going to see the calendar, but we don't really need this side, and I forgot to highlight. Daggone it. But let me get my highlighters, and I will show you this part too. Uh-oh. Dropping my stuff over here. All right. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I like to use highlighters on my expense stickers that I print and cut for myself. And I have a white box, a pretty large size white box here, and I just fill in what it is that, whatever it is I purchased or where I purchased it from. And then I highlight the category here, and you're going to see what color is what category. If you see my channel before, you know which one's which. I have pink for grocery household. I don't know why, but most YouTubers do pink for grocery household. I guess we just like that color kind of thing. I usually do better staying in the box, so there we go. All right, restaurants, I use the blue highlighter, and these are the Zebra mild liners. So I like using these. There we go. And green, this light green color for miscellaneous. And then this bright orange for gasoline because it doesn't happen very often, so I use that. And now I could, have the printer colored in, but I have these mild liners and I want to use them, so I decided to leave the boxes white and just run the highlighters over them. Yellow for unbudgeted. All right, so there we go. A little messy, but that's okay. Next, you see here I have Visa points. I was trying to discover what my point system is with my credit card that has cash back rewards. It has a reward, so you can get cash back or you can get other things. So I don't want to get too much into that, but I discovered what the cash back was on the 1st of March by working backwards from today. I had to go from today's points backwards to the 1st because I forgot to write it down. The end of was it April going into May. So, but this is where I'm at today on the 4th, and that's good. So what I've discovered is whatever the points is, and it's a dollar for every point, it's 1 point for, or it's one for every dollar. So if you do, let's say $100, that's $1. Basically is the way it works. So for every $100, it's $1. Now, when you purchase anything, you get 1 point for every dollar, and then you get, or 1 point for, or $1 for every $100. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. But anyways, this is a point 35,922. That actually equals $359.22. So you just move the decimal point. So every time I purchase something, I move the decimal point 2 places, and that is how much the reward is. Now, gas is double the points, and then restaurants are triple the points. Now, my restaurants, I don't spend a lot in. I try to keep that really low. I shouldn't be going out to eat too much, so that's important. So I just mostly get the single points and then a little bit sprinkled here and there of double and triple points. Now the gas points are doing really well, but the rest of it's not. So I'm just going to show you this one page here because that's where everything is. And we are going to check that off. I haven't really been spending a whole heck of a lot. And I have a sticky note here, so that works. And I've already kind of filled it out. So we're just going to total it up, and we're going to go through what is in the category. So grocery household, I had $107.90 on Monday, where I got a bigger grocery run and specific items, and there was something one of my sons needed and forgot to tell me, and I went back and picked it up on Tuesday, and then I got some extra stuff, so just little random things, and picked it up at Walmart on Tuesday for $25.08. And then Food Lion just now, I realized my son, who usually takes peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a little bag of Doritos for lunch every day since he started school, and he's a senior. He eats it every day though. He's a senior now, getting ready to graduate. He was out of Doritos. I need to go pick up some chips, and I'm like, I didn't have any dinner either. And when my husband's gone, I typically eat chicken a lot, and I picked up a rotisserie chicken and a few odds and ends, so I spent $41.90 at Food Lion, which I had not been to Food Lion in a really long time, so that was kind of cool to go back to and see all, and go in and see if there's anything different. But their rotisserie chicken is like my favorite chicken. Oh my gosh, it is so juicy and it's so yummy and not overpowering with flavor, but it has a really good flavor to it. So I'm like, wow, I love this chicken. I like it better than Walmart's rotisserie. The last one I got was Walmart's, and I'm like, it's okay. And I kept putting off buying another one, and then when I went to Food Lion today, I looked at him, I'm like, that is so amazing looking. So anyways, so $107.90 plus $25.08 plus $41.90. All right, that's $174. That's what I spent at, well, for my grocery household stuff. Now we're moving on to restaurants. So Friday night was pizza night, and I gave a generous tip, and that was $42.33. Just type it in as I go, $42.33. Plus Sunday, I didn't feel like cooking, and I got my son's McDonald's, so $17.35. It was like right down the street from where I live, so you know, it's one of those things where we're very lazy that day. But I did not want McDonald's, so I got Taco Bell for $8.91. And I used to, if you watched my channel a long time, I had not eaten Taco Bell in forever. I think once, maybe twice this year so far. And that's really good for me. So $68.59 is what I had in restaurants, and that was pretty good. And then gas was $90.73, and that was that $4.09 a gallon for 22 gallons of gas. $90.73. That is the most I've ever put in my tank. That's the lowest I let my tank get to. Normally I fill it up at a quarter tank, and it would have been $10 less, maybe, I don't know, or close to it. It would be 80, 83, 85 or something, not 90. But yeah, guys, this is crazy. $4.09. Can't believe we're spending that much in gas. Anyway, and not being in the middle of the Pacific on an island like Hawaii. I do remember paying that amount, not quite that, I think it was $3.88, and that was back in 2006 when we were paying that in Hawaii. So we were stationed there for about 4 years, and yeah, everything is imported to the island, and even pineapples, which I thought was hilarious because Dole Plantation is out there. And yeah, everything just costs so much more. I remember spending $4 or $5 a gallon for milk. And back then, most people were only spending $2 a gallon. I know recent months it's been $3.50, $3.70, at least where we're at right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels like Hawaii all over again because everything costs so much. All right, so now I can put these numbers in on how much I spent. $174.88. Oops, there we go. $68.59. And 0 for miscellaneous. Did you guys see that? No miscellaneous. I just didn't spend anything. I was very proud of myself. Where last month I was spending everything. I think because I spent so much like on the Erin Condren launch and things like that, I just kind of went, okay, I want to slow down. And Sarah Marie has not, with Sarah Marie Stickers, has not done her new releases yet, so I don't know about that. So I'm sure I will be using my miscellaneous. I don't have a personal fund. I use miscellaneous to do that as the family needs it, so there you go. But gasoline, this is why I put all 125 in the beginning of week 1 and 2 that came out of Paycheck 1. Right there, so I could have enough and not go into negative. $90.73. It was already in the account anyway. I just didn't want to see the red. And then 0 from budgeted, so I just didn't put it in here. I do have a couple things. If you want to continue watching after I show the weekly check-in, I'll flip through a couple things. My Paycheck 1, where I'm at there, and then monthly. So if you look at those, then you would see there what that looks like. But today is mostly just the weekly check-in. Let's see here. How much did I spend in total? So $174.88 plus the $68.59 plus the $90.73. All right. That was $334.20, which is excellent. Minus the $540 that I started with. Woo, there we go. Calculator spinning around. All right. That is $205.80. All right, so if you do savings challenges, which I don't, I should, but I don't. I just balance everything forward until the end of the month, and then I either make it part of my buffer of my checking account, which is what I'm considering this, Or if I wanted to, I could do a savings challenge, and I would have $205 to work with if I knew week to week what I was budgeting was going to cover everything. But I don't know that, and I'm not comfortable with that. So if I was doing this as a savings challenge, I would wait to what the end of the month said, and if I had money left over, then I would do that towards savings challenge. But that's just my personal preference. But this here is a way to do that. If you know and are very well in tune with how much you spend in a week and you have cash left over, it's a perfect time to do that. So let's see what the differences are between each category. 215 minus 174.88. That gives us, $40.12. All right. Next thing I have is the $90 for restaurants for the week. I'm going to take the $68.59. And this is a way of, this is just like cash envelopes, except for I don't use cash. I use my debit card or my credit card to pay for everything and get points, and then go forward from there. I did not spend anything out of miscellaneous, so that will balance forward. And then 125 minus the 90.73. I will not need gas until week 3 probably. So I should be good. I'm pretty much full as far as gas goes. So 34.27 will carry over going to the next paycheck period, and I did not unbudget. So there we go. And let's make sure this totals the right way. 10 and then 21.41 plus 40 and 12 and check. There we go. I am happy. So I'm going to take these balances. I'm going to add, because these are what I divided each week into, and I'm doing 5 weeks going to the end of the month on the 31st. And that's why each week is a little bit less. If I only do 4 weeks, it goes up a little bit. If I do 5 weeks, I'm stretching the dollar a little bit. So there we have that. So here we go. We have $215 is what each week is getting. And then I add $40.12. And that gives me $255.12. That's what I'm starting with on Friday, going into the next Thursday. That next Friday is Paycheck for us, Paycheck 2 for the month, and that Paycheck 2 will be week 3 and week 4 of our paycheck period. So I think that's what it is. 3 and 4, yeah. All right, so next we have the 21.41 is what it is, and then we're going to add $90. And where do I get these numbers? Well, I get these numbers by knowing about how much I spend every month on the regular. So every month, and I know I'm kind of interrupting here, we spend anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 a month on grocery household. So you got cleaning supplies as well as food, as well as anything else that you need that you can buy in a conventional grocery store. And that's why I call it grocery household, because I don't like going to store and things like that. So this month was $1,000. And you divide $1,000 by 5. Well, how did I get 215? 215 times 2, 430. Plus 430. 1,000. Okay, I know why, because I wanted 140 for the last week because it's only the 27th through the 31st. It's only a few days. So I kind of did a little bit different budgeting here. I worked backwards. But normally I would do 200 and then I decided to do 215 instead. So you can either divide by 5 to give you the 5 weeks, or if you know you don't need that much on 1 week, you can subtract that out like I did. So I gave myself 1,000 for the month. And that's the budget I want to stay within. I know the last week is abbreviated. It's only 3 or 4 days, and I want $140 for that. and that gave me $860, and then I divided the rest of the weeks, which was 4, and that gave me the $215. So that's where that number came from. And then I do $450 for eating out for the entire month, and you do that. Let's see, that's by 5. Oops, I did that wrong. $450 divided by 5 weeks. And that gives me 90. So the rest of these I did divide by 5 weeks. And then $550 for miscellaneous for the whole month, and that's divided by 5 weeks, and that gives me the 110. And then I give myself, I'm doing 250, I think, 250, and divide it by half. Instead of by week, I just did, I know I'm only going to get gas twice this month, so I just divided it by 2, one for each paycheck period, and then gave myself $125. So that's how that worked. And now I'm done rambling about that. Let's see. Okay, so I know how much restaurants I have. I'm gonna take that 110 and double that because I didn't do any miscellaneous, so I do need that. I am going to order a bunch of diapers. My friend is getting ready to have a baby this month sometime, and I want to get her a good amount of diapers for the new baby so she didn't have to worry about that. I'm not adding more to gasoline. That's what that little notation is, but I still have $34.27. Actually, I'm going to erase this. Now that I've reminded myself, I'm just balancing it over. I don't really need that reminder anymore. I love these pens, the Frixon erasable pens. And that's where I got these, $34.27. So that's the amount. And the only reason the rubber band's on here is because this rattles really good. See how it rattles? So that rattle aggravates me in my videos. I don't like it. So I put a rubber band to make it quiet. All right, so we're gonna total this up. Man, I'm rambling today. 255, 12 plus the 111.41 plus 2. That didn't work. Hold on a second. It's a very cheap calculator, probably $1 at Walmart. 111.41 plus 220 plus 34.27. Okay, there we go. All right, so $620.80. That is what I'm working with for week 2 of my weekly check-in, which is more than enough to get me through week 2 before the next paycheck. And I don't know, I might try to do a savings challenge where I'm like, okay, I can play a little game, and at the end of paycheck 1, what do I have left in these categories and what could I save? Or maybe I can just make a note of it or something. I don't know. I want to get into savings challenges. I just can't seem to get motivated. I love watching them. I just don't do them. So anyway, I'm going to put this back in. I'm going to do a flip through of all my other weeks if you want to see that. If not, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Weekly check-in is done. I've checked it. I've balanced it. I'm good to go. I know how much money I have available in my checking account that is protected for spending. It's $620.80. Even though my checking account actually at this moment says over $3,000, I know a lot of that is the bills, and some of that is to pay for the spending that happened up here and the spending from last month that had just cleared the other day. With my bank, if you do charges over the weekend, it's Tuesday or Wednesday before those charges completely process through and go from pending to charged. So I really have to wait until the next week to pay for it. I don't mind. That's why I have a balance forward a lot of times in my credit card log, and I'll show you that here in a minute. I keep notes over here. This is how I decide what goes into each week. So I know how much I'm spending each week and where my decisions come from. I made note of bills coming next month. I did an oil change today and put it on a credit card that we use for maintenance on our vehicles. We don't have a maintenance fund, but we do have a credit card, and usually we can cash flow anything that happens with our vehicles without any issue. That's what our emergency fund is for. I just got an oil change. It was 9803. It's a big vehicle. It takes 7 quarts, not 5. So, you got to have the money for that. And so I put it on there to keep the card active, and then when the bill comes up, before it gets any interest charged to it, I actually just pay it next month, and it shows activity and keeps things looking good. Everything is checked off here. I'm not spending anything tomorrow. And then I printed off 4 credit card logs because I needed 3 last month. I'm not sure if I need 3 or 4 this month. So this is the second month I've been doing all my spending on my credit card to get the points. And last month I earned like $50 based on the point system that they had. And I was pretty pleased. I didn't know how much it would be. I'm just new to figuring it out. Maybe I'll find a different rewards card and try it. But this has a high enough credit balance that I can use it and pay everything I need to on my credit card, and then pay it off every week. And that's how I take care of my spending here. So you're going to see these 3 pink are these right here in the middle of that one bill came out, and that's up here at the beginning where these bills are marked. This is my monthly view, and this is just for bills that come out of my checking account and any bills that go to the credit card automatically, where we're keeping our credit card active. So we have 2 credit cards, one with AMCO and one with our Navy Federal account. And we try to keep those, things active on there. And just for our credit, what do they call it? So we can have a credit, our FICO score and stuff like that. So we have good credit, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't like credit. I stay away from it as much as possible, in the sense I don't want to buy things on credit. I want to pay cash, but I don't mind getting points. And I'm only doing this because it took me 2.5 years to discipline myself on credit and using this. And this is how I make using credit painful and still pay it off with cash, is I have these tangible handwritten reminders. It's written here, it is written here, and it's also written here. I love doing this as well. I still do my logs in my 4 categories, so I have to the penny what I'm spending. Now, I don't do videos on this, but I do show you every once in a while. I have these logs to the penny. I know every day how much spending I have available. This is my monthly view, but this is the monthly budget, and then I just write in whatever income came in and what has come out so far as a whole month, and then any unbudgeted goes over here. And I also do it for Paycheck 1. It's very repetitive, but I'm one of those people that, one, I'm doing it for entertainment video purposes for you guys, not to educate, but just to share my style of doing things. And so I'm doing it in multiple places, and I don't mind doing it that way because it helps me retain in my memory what's going on in my bank account. Now, I don't recommend this if you are a full-time employee and you are a busy parent that just doesn't have time to do all these things. I don't recommend that. But what I do recommend is decide on a style of budgeting that works for you, and stick with just what you can get done, and to pay attention to your bank account. I have a friend, she only looks at it when she goes to check her email to make sure the transactions that happen overnight or hers, and that is it. She keeps enough in the checking account to cover anything that comes in or out, kind of like a credit card, but it's her checking account. I always do this with you guys. I fill this page up, and now I am going to use this if anything else comes out of the buffer, the checking account, and I can track that by seeing how much actually came in, what actually has come out, what's left to come out, and does that match up with my bank account. So that's why I do a paycheck to paycheck. A monthly's good. The only thing I really love about the monthly is the fact that the budget column, it tells me, do I have enough income coming in at the minimum to cover how much is going to come out at the minimum. What I know as bills and what I think is going to be expenses, and then that's it. I do track the rest of it, but I don't really pay as close attention to that as I do paycheck to paycheck. Now, you don't even have to do a monthly budget. If you just want to do paycheck to paycheck only, that works. And if you do that, do a monthly bills calendar. That way you know what payday covers what bill. And that's what you need to know. Whether you use a credit card or not, it's irrelevant. As long as you pay during that pay period those specific things with that paycheck, and you know you have enough in your account to cover it. If not, you might have to pull from savings or sell something. You never know. Here in the paycheck to paycheck, that is the best way I know to pay attention to spending, and it allows you to know exactly how much is left in the budget for that paycheck period. So if it's a week or 2 weeks, that you can spend on groceries, that you can spend on eating out, that you can spend on small things that are kind of random, and that you can buy gas with. I would definitely start with the not restaurants. Of course, I would love to start with groceries and household, whether you separate those or not, depending on how you spend. Some people separate that and do it in different stores, and that's perfectly okay. But kind of put a hedge of protection around your groceries, around your household needs, and your gasoline. Then you have your miscellaneous, and then have your restaurants. That is the order I would do it. I would recommend, but it's up to you what you want to do, what is most important to you. But this is how I typically budget, and this is how I share budgeting with others. Pick one style that works and then go with it. If you'd like the weekly check-in, if you have had a rhythm of your paychecks and you know they're pretty standard, and you know basically you have X amount of dollars for spending in your spending categories, then the weekly check-in, you pay all your bills, you run the paycheck numbers, and then just put a protective hedge around the spending amounts that you want each week, and do a weekly check-in. The rest of this is really irrelevant to do. I just do it because people enjoy watching it and they want to see what it looks like. Pick one style and then go from there. So I hope this helps someone. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. Put a little emoji that this helped. Whatever you want to put down the bottom, whether it can be a heart, it could be money, it could be whatever you want to put. I would love to see those comments in the comment section if it did help. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up, and I hope you have an amazing, blessed day, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. Bye.
Other than you, I always thought I'd be waiting